Hello, guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Depends where you're watching from at this moment of the day. Really, it is about Hope Uzodinma and Rochas Okorocha. I have a very wonderful, amazing, information to share with you guys between these two people at this moment. But before I allow the ball rolling, I want to plead with you, please kindly, if this is your first time of watching, hit on the red subscribe button. By so doing, you help in promoting our YouTube channel. And if you have been watching, may God continue to bless you as you continue to watch and share to other people. Like, dislike, and comments. Not just to watch and go, but just put your comment on the commentary box below. And I pray that God will continue to bring people that will still patronize you in your own business. To subscribe does not cost any money or data to do that. Please help us by doing this. Hit also on the bell notification sign so that whenever we upload a new video, you will be among the first people to receive the notification. Thank you and God bless you. Yes, sometimes I do tell people about all these politicians that you do not kill yourself just because of them. You do not die because of them. During the campaign period or election period, you see a lot of people making enemies while they are fighting for all these politicians. If you can remember or memorize, back, you really understand a lot this man now, Owele, said to Owele. A lot this even Owele said against Hope Uzodinma. And this Hope Uzodinma, on I think AIT, all he said about this Rochas and his son-in-law. He called them a lot of names, and a lot of things happened that you may not even think that both of them will come back to say that two of them now have reunited. Oshomole, Uzodinma, and Owele. So, but that is politics for you. But I have, some news for you or some information for you. What this Rochas Okorocha said against Hope Uzodinma and what Hope Uzodinma said against Rochas Okorocha. So I want you to take your time and watch these two and tell me what you think about these guys. And the latest reunion of both of them, including the national chairman, Oshomole. Now, after which the governor of Imo State, being Hope Uzodinma, have really pronounced of the probe of the past three governors before him, ranging from Ohakim, Rochas Okorocha, and Meki Hidoha. So after their reconciliations, so I want you to compare with the video, two videos I'm going to upload here for you to watch, or I'm going to tag here for you to watch. After watching these two videos, I want you to tell me what you think, about these their new reconciliations. And you compare it with what Hope Uzodinma said against Owele, Rochas Okorocha after their primaries during his interview, one of the interviews, and what Rochas Okorocha said against this Hope Uzodinma after he must have won the Senate, in their senatorial zone. So a lot he said against him. So in fact, about him, I want you to watch it yourself. Now compare the two, and now compare the reconciliation between amongst two of them, and also their national chairman, and what the national chairman also said and prayed against Rochas Okorocha also. Don't fail to watch these videos I'm going to tag.
My people, my people. Ọkwọnụ ihe emeta. Kaka mazimbe na o nkemo. Bakar ma gwode shamo dikera mbaka mo ibe. Ndị agboroji agbala ọsọ.
Hope is hopeless.
Okay, my John Ajo.
Hope is hopeless.
Onye win election kwọ na agari na-eme ignorance na-eme njọ. Onye win election na-ezo ezo. Ngwa hope ya pụta.
Hope is hopeless. Hope is hopeless. Hope is hopeless.
Mmadụ ya pụta. Because hope is hopeless.
Hope is hopeless. Echefuola eche.
Today, ihe na-ewute mbụ kamgbe 3 days ka a na-shift governorship primaries. from Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday. And thousands of people, over 500,000 people, 500,000 a queue in all our wards. Njoki Drwine, Njinna, Gahana Kuna Land, a check, Hanwake, Tiro Hacha. Benji Hagawata, na line Ugumba, which was in a Shinga, Concord Hotel. Their own mother book and mother. Bro Maka, now Ghana Bitono, Bamoto, President Mohamed Buhari, Bamoto Atoko. And the Ghana Abuja has had a popular. But where is popular? Popular here now. and I made popular in Abuja. This ground will give people where get up. Now here I begin to tell them, say, nothing mega. And you see, it's India Wednesday, Bawaso. Ta, by 5 o'clock, Electoral and Kokoto. Chairman of Bear Conductor Primary, and I chose the actual. Yeah, the bombos. And I tried to work for this trade. Yeah. I saw Garebe and here that works. Actually, I work fence. She fence. Well, I had a child. I am now. Manama, when Madden, I chum the corner, chicken, a chumma. I am an election economy yesterday. Engaging support in most of the local governments. I propose that I took election as a message. Out of 12 member committee, 8 members, no, my secretary. How was the result sheet? We collect the result came yesterday. Ugumbuche was in 455,000 votes. Hope were 9,000. Madam 5,000. HS 600 and something votes. Jam results. So F9. And they may declare one of the budget may declare. The secretary and members of the committee. And then there will share them. This show Guamsa, Nandisha Yoruba Chiche. There may I will on a Honan. Naye Merena. So now, Ugumbo Chenwosu is the APC candidate. Hour, the Soga walk. How to be had a new pressure, which wants to know. This is my happen Senate. So, I'm happy now I should enjoy land. I'm happy not to commit to this party. I said to go a new movement. I want because of Keseloju. Like when I go vote protection unit. VPU. All the youths, all of you must get involved. So, because I got one nose, I got half. I got 200. And Hope Uzodinma is a wanted person. Court have declared him a wanted person. So everyone now Hope, one only police officer that give them here. On a national balabari. So, and Okupero, okay, for students, the federal house, House of Assembly. I get my time. Rescue mission when I do. Because in Abuja, I won't even look child. We make mistake. I told you, my children can make commission. I got one actually work on child. India has your tash, Boku Boya. Aguam Hasia on a Hona. akụnụba niile nke nwere ụwa nke na-eshi aka n'aka Chineke ya bịala asị m ka ha kwuo ya a ga-ekwu ya a ga-ekwu ya so on Gesike, I want to thank you my youths for 3 days you have shown me love kama masị me ọwa na-akpasara m iwu maka ọnụ kpasara m iwu m ebupụta ihe a mee ya attention. Yes. I'm na hope flyer. Naga chona. What the hell about? My paper, my paper. Where is the hair? Because it was your getting my car. More cotton. One of them more coke. I love you. So you get 1 million out of work. Yeah, I will walk up. God bless all of you. My paper, my paper.
Hello and welcome to Nigeria, the road to 2019, a series of programs where Arise News places the audience and the choice at the heart of our coverage of the upcoming presidential elections. I'm Charles Aniagora. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, all the news, comment and analysis that provide unrivaled insight into Nigeria 2019, including the season of primary elections in the ruling APC party may have come to an end, but the tussle and jostle over the selection of candidates is still not over yet. And one area where tensions remain high is in Imo State. We'll speak with the APC governorship candidate there, Senator Hope Uzodinma. And later, we'll be joined in the studio by a panel of 2 top-notch analysts as we look back at the week that was and look ahead to the week that will be as the 2019 general elections move inexorably closer. We begin, though, with the immediate consequences of a very fraught primary election season in the ruling APC party. The primaries are, of course, over, but the tension and protests they generated are not. Nowhere more so than in Imo State, where an ugly battle for supremacy has been raging between the incumbent APC governor, Rochas Okorocha, who wanted his hand-picked candidate to be the governorship flag bearer for the APC, and the man who eventually won that ticket, Senator Hope Uzodinma. The candidates have not even begun to get ugly yet. Observers say what we've seen so far is just a foretaste of the nightmare to come when the election proper begins. Well, let's talk to one man who's most definitely in the fray and in the frame as the political picture begins to shape up for 2019. Senator Hope Uzodinma is the governorship candidate for the APC in Imo State, and he has served as senator since 2011, first elected under the platform of the opposition PDP and now with the APC. And Senator Uzodinma joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for making out the time to be with us.
Thank you, Charles.
Let me first of all get your response to the news we're hearing that the President Buhari has refused assent to the electoral bill. Your reaction to that?
Well, I've not heard, but if that is correct, I'm sure that will be conveyed to us in the Parliament. And in that letter conveying the withholding of assent, things will be advanced. And then, consistent with parliamentary procedure, working with my colleagues, we'll work on it.
Well, I mean, you're a member of the APC party. You're close to the president. I understand you were at the presidency just a few hours ago. Did you get any sense at all that this was going to happen?
I can't remember the presidency. Okay, yesterday. Now, I have not gotten, of course, as you know, there's a process, and I believe I'm a product of due process. I believe in due process. If the bill has forwarded to the president for assent is not positively handled, there must be a reason. And I believe, whether I'm from APC or from any other political party, that the National Assembly, that letter will be communicated to the National Assembly, and Mr. President, of course, will advance the reasons behind his withholding the assent. And if we are satisfied with that, we will do the necessary correction and then go to the next level.
But you're not aware of what those reasons might be?
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, let's move on from there. And I suppose congratulations are in order. You fought through the flames and successfully emerged as the governorship candidate of the APC in Imo State, despite the stiff opposition you faced from the governor of the state, Rochas Okorocha. Clearly you've been scorched by that experience. The question is, what's the degree of burns that you sustained, and how much has that damaged you?
Well, I don't think that I've suffered anything I can call damage, because every profession, every project has its own hazards. And a primary elections is an internal program of the political party. The context of who has or who carries the ticket is within and among members of the party, the same political party, and consistent with the guidelines produced by the party. We have to comply and follow. We did a direct primaries, which is one of the most populist mode of primary elections all over the world, and I emerged. Of course, people may have their ambition, but in a context where there are more than 2-3 persons, well, of course, all of us know that one person must emerge. You have to show maturity. You have to show the spirit of sportsmanship. You have, from ab initio, to understand that one person will emerge, and when that happens, you have to, giving your commitment to the supremacy of the party and the interest of the party, you submit yourself to the process, and then congratulate the man who emerged and work with him for the collective interest of all of us.
But that was not the case, though, was it?
Yeah, of course, we are still growing up in this environment. It's not as where you're coming from, the other climes. But with time, I'm sure that will eventually become the case. Of course, as we grow in life, there will be ups and downs. And with commitment and dedication and understanding of the issue and having known your destination and your target, we will grow up.
Well, you seem to be glossing over what was clearly a very bruising experience, battles fought in the pages of newspapers in the full glare of public eye. And, you know, that even went beyond just because you talked about it as an internal affair. I mean, it went beyond the internal affair of the APC. Lots of mudslinging, you know, attempts to, you know, smear each other in the public eye. I mean, let's first of all just be clear that you can now be confident, can you, that the fight is over and that you have unquestionably won?
Well, in a multi-party democracy all over the world, after every primary exercise, you will always have a post-primary crisis. This is not going to be.
Well, it's not everywhere in the world. It just happens to be. It happens to happen to prevail quite a lot in this country.
Of course, even in the United States, where I'm sure you are very conversant, and you agree with me that at a time, the emergence of a presidential candidate in the Democratic Party came up with some disagreements here and there. They're not as primitive or as crude as we are here. But at least at the end of the day, the party leadership came together, and then the right candidate emerged. Here in Nigeria, APC is a very big party, it's a large party. In a contest that one person must emerge, and we have 9 gubernatorial aspirants, everybody claiming to be the best candidate for the party. And then we have gone through the exercise, and one person has emerged. The only slight difference here is that we had an incumbent governor who should have been neutral, but from day one identified a relative of his that must wear the ticket. So the contest was no longer a contest within the aspirants. It was a contest that even the incumbent governor had an interest. So it became difficult to know who actually is the aspirant. Is it his relative or the incumbent governor, who should have been an unbiased umpire, who should have provided a enabling environment to guide a seamless, free, and fair primaries, but he was not able to do that. Reason best known to him. Don't forget, I'm loyal to the political party APC. I'm a member of the party. The governor is also a member of the party. There are some of the things I must consider internal issues of the party, and there are also internal mechanisms for addressing such issues. I don't think it will be proper on my side now to begin to go to public, blaming anybody, or because I know the leadership of the party is equal to the task.
Yeah, but the point really is that this particular battle to emerge as the APC candidate in Imo State may be over, but the war that you're fighting with the incumbent governor of Imo State clearly isn't. I mean, and whether it is him or someone else, but there seems to be this, if you like, machinery, publicity machinery, that is attacking you. I mean, we've heard of allegations of corruption against you, non-fulfillment of a $12 million contract that you secured, your subsequent alleged arrest. I mean, clear the air for us and tell us which of those allegations is true and which isn't.
Well, first of all, the contest is over. A winner has emerged, and I'm the winner. I'm the candidate of the party today.
And that is not in doubt.
And that is not in doubt.
Right.
The next line of action is prepare my campaign, talk with the electorate. It's not one man that is going to make me a governor. It is the majority citizens of Imo State that will elect me. So the agreement, the contract will be between me and the people of Imo State. That's one. Two, you see, maturity, so to say, is not in all of us. People comes into every contest as if it is a freestyle wrestling where there are no rules. I'm a rule-driven politician. I believe that regulations and guidelines, constitutions, guides whatever political process. I came from the private sector to become a politician. And the particular matter is just raised now, which has no business with the political department that I've just come to exercise this new career. I was in the private sector, in the maritime industry, one of the shareholders of Niger Global, as a matter of fact, the CEO. And we have a joint venture project in Calabar, Nigerian Ports Authority, with a consortium of companies. I represent the local content. The leader of the consortium is Westminster Dredging and the parent company, Royal Boskalis of Holland. These world-class dredging companies. In fact, Westminster is almost the #1 dredging company of over 100 years in Nigeria. They did the dredging of Calabar Port. Under the Cabotage Act, there's a provision for local content. We just did the local aspect of the job. And some people want to politicize it. Westminster and the Nigerian Ports Authority, whom they worked for, the technical department confirmed, certified the project. A consultant from Switzerland is supervising the project. Every money paid to Westminster Dredging, every money paid to the consortium was certified and received. Now they are still being owed a huge amount of money. But somehow, of course, I came from PDP. Some people refuse to grow up. In trying to look for how to pull Hope Uzodinma down, they fabricate stories and say, my name is Hope Uzodinma. Even the company that did the local content, I'm not the sole owner of the company, just a shareholder.
So that story about a $12 million contract that you secured and you did not fulfill is a fallacy.
Lie. It's just a very fallacy, very big fallacy. Very big fallacy. There's a valid contract. The contract is for 15 years. As a matter of fact, it's a concession. this consortium and Nigerian Post Authority by the contract will be in Calabar for 15 years. They have not even gone up to 3 years into the contract. And somebody saying money was paid. You see, because of my position in the society, it's not everything I'll just when it borders on my integrity and personality, I have to clear the
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Calabar Channel Management Company is a joint venture which Nigerian Post Authority has 60%. The chairman of the company is the MD of Nigerian Post Authority. The consortium is a minority shareholder, owning 40%, out of which the local content is 10%. So even assuming but not considering to the fact that money was paid to this company, Nigerian Post Authority will take 60%. The foreign technical partners take theirs, and 10% will come to the local content.
so basically what you're saying is that there is no way, that funds can simply just disappear because there are too many interests in it. Right, okay. What about the your subsequent alleged arrest? I mean, obviously the fact what you've just explained seems to dispel that story as well, doesn't it? That you clearly, I mean, you say you were not arrested. Some other people said you were arrested.
I was not arrested. In fact, the time because those who are behind the plot to smear my person are aware, they planned probably to get me arrested legally or illegally, and then go to the press and use it to weaken my candidature. Unfortunately for them, that did not happen, because the particular panel is called Presidential Panel on Recovery of Public Property. I don't have any public property. The consortium I'm talking about is not my...
But were you ever called to account or to speak to that panel or to any other financial sort of probity panel about what actually happened with that contract? Whether or not you were arrested, were you called to account for what happened?
This panel wrote me a letter that they will want me to come and do my asset declaration. That they have some reports that I did not do my asset declaration. I replied, attaching my asset declaration for 2011 to 2015, and another declaration when I was leaving the Senate 2015, and another declaration when I came back for my second term, and I forwarded to them. That was the last time I heard from these people. The next thing I had was, I've been arrested for calabash and treason, and
Must be pretty shocking. It's a bit like reading you're dead in the newspapers, and
so
you're actually
shocked,
reading.
I was so shocked, and unbelievably, it happened.
Right. Well, doesn't all that say something very loud and very vulgar about how bad things are in the APC in particular, and in Nigerian politics in general? I mean, the shocking infighting and lack of democracy, you know, in a party that was supposed to lead this country in a direction of change.
Well, I don't think that the party has any blame to share in what happened.
Now, I'm not just talking about that.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
talking about the infighting within with the primaries and you and the
all
governor
over
and
the
all
world.
kinds of people.
All
Well,
over.
you keep talking about all over the world. We want to talk about what is happening in the
What is
APC
happening
in
here?
Imo State.
We are practicing democracy, which traditionally is not ours. We borrowed. And what we are practicing today is a federal system of government, likened to that of America. So it's something that we copied. So when you want to discuss or address any issue that is a fallout of the practice, of course, you have to draw references from where it originated.
Right, okay.
So I come to say that APC as a political party, of course, I mean, how old? They've been in office less than 4 years. But I recall too that PDP has been there for 16 years. There is nothing that has happened now that did not happen in the 16 years of PDP in power. Of course, I was there. Don't forget, I came from PDP to join APC. Yes, the party.
Well, you went from the PDP to another party, and then you went.
No, from PDP to APC.
Right.
Yes, and of course, there is nothing that is happening that has happened now that did not happen from 1999 to 2015.
Okay, let's get past the general to the particular. What's the problem between you and Governor Rochas Okorocha? Why doesn't he like you? Is there some sort of deep rivalry between the two of you?
No, Charles, you should understand. Of course, a governor who have served and is now outgoing and telling you, none of you should vie for this position because I'm going to give it to my son-in-law.
And you defied him.
And
basically.
I defied him.
Right.
Of course, consistent with good conscience. And then the ethos of democratic governance. We, the people, should say who governs him or state. That is the point of this agreement. We have nothing personal. But I think that he should grow up and do the needful.
Well, from his point of view, he says you're not a true member of the APC, that you don't attend any APC meetings in your ward or local government, and that in effect your power base within the APC is in Abuja, not Imo State, and that you're perceived locally in Imo State as a member of the PDP, which is your former party, in which you were in fact a member of the Board of Trustees and on whose platform you ran for senator.
Well, the membership of the party in APC, according to the Constitution, is from the ward. And to the best of my knowledge, the governor is not my ward chairman, who should say whether I'm a member of the party or not. And as you may recall, that after I joined the APC, I'm now a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm a member of the National Caucus of the party. I'm a member of the National Executive Committee of the party. Because there's what we can call in politics headhunting. You look for bright politicians, you even approach them to join your party. That's part. It is a program that helps the party grow up. Secondly, I have been before 19. I've been in politics before this time. I was an active member of MPL. I was, as a matter of fact, the state youth leader. And so from 1999 to date, I played a major role. I've been financing and supporting people. We have produced governors. And in 2011, when I decided to contest for the Senate, he sponsored a candidate. I defeated his candidate. In 2015, just yesterday, he was sitting governor. He said, I will not win, that his party must win. We come from the same senatorial district. The candidate he fielded was the then National Organizing Secretary of the party, APC. Both of them working together. I defeated them, and I'm in the Senate. And in each of these elections, I won outrightly. In the two elections that produced him, the election became inconclusive. In 2011, he's a product of a supplementary election. In 2015, as a sitting governor, he's a product of a supplementary election. What does that tell you? That a sitting governor with the powers of incumbency, with everything at his disposal, is not able to win outrightly. So something must be wrong.
So you are clearly a threat.
Of course.
I mean, but you yourself, you've had your share of political battles. I mean, apart from this one, I mean, you've been in the Supreme Court a number of times seeking restitution for being denied victory in elections. You've been disqualified, re-qualified, switched parties, but still you persist in politics. What is it that keeps you coming back for more and staying the course in spite of the absolutely enormous challenges that you've faced and continue to face, and the amount of dirt that's been thrown at you?
You know, my commitment to the will of God. I believe as a Christian, as part as a Catholic, that truth must be truth. In Africa, sometimes in this climate, you suffer to let the truth prevail. You stand, there will be forces against you. So what we call battle sometimes are what I consider the challenges. Every career has its own challenges. When you are clear to contest election and somebody goes to court, they say, no, don't allow him to run an election because he's not qualified. Even after the screening panel has cleared you, what do? You will respond. You will join. If you are invited to the court, you will go there to defend yourself.
How much does that distract from the job that you're actually there to do?
Of course, when people don't have the capacity you have to excel in a nation like ours, all they are looking for is what will distract you, to create weakness for you, for them to probably come up. In this case, they have never succeeded.
Right.
Because I go into every election prepared Charles, I don't want to boast or arrogate powers I don't have to myself. But if the feelings of the people of Imo State is anything to go by, if what decision they will take will determine what will ensure victory, then consider that I've already won the election.
Right. So after all the heat, and now that you are on the ballot as the ticket holder for the APC in Imo State, what are you betting on to help you achieve victory in 2019? What are you saying to the people of Imo State on the campaign trail?
Well, I have started, first of all, by making sure that I appreciate the support given to me by my people throughout this trouble. Secondly, I have to go in there with a message. The message is very simple. Tell them what is different. The narrative has to change. If you look at the level of infrastructural decay in Imo State, if you look at the level of monumental corruption in Imo State, if you look at the pure case, clear case of inactivity, where the place is almost strangulated economically, the people are looking for a reprieve. So I'll go there with a message, and I tell you something. They will listen to me because they trust me. I've done it for them before, and they know I'll do it again.
The potential problem, of course, is that people will associate you with President Buhari and the overall APC party across Nigeria. How much do people in Imo State actually like Mr. Buhari? After all the, and the APC, after all the infighting and the terrible tantrums and examples of shocking disunity that the party has displayed before the people of the state?
The Buhari the people of Imo State have been seeing is the governor.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because the governor has not done well.
Yeah, so does that go against you?
No, because they now know the problem. And they also know, based on the trust they have on me, that given that Hope Uzodinma is not a name we can trust, it means that he will get there, defend us, protect our interests, and get Buhari to solve their problems.
Well, that's what you hope.
That is what I believe that will happen. Because the symbol of the party is important. It is not the party. The party is inanimate without the people. It is the conscience that drives the party. That is the conscience of the party. Look at the manifesto of APC, an impeccable document. It is the inability of the ambassadors of the party in the past to drive that manifesto to fruition that has created bad impression in some sectors, or in some areas. But I can tell you, the Imo people I know today, who are willing and determined to be part of the project Nigeria, who are now decided to be part of the ruling party, will come there because, for assuming the president, Buhari is the medical doctor that will cure our sickness. The sickness has to be diagnosed. The sickness must be known. But when you have a man who is indifferent, a man who is myopic, a man who is self-centered, a man who wants everything for himself, represent you, of course, you have ceded their right.
Beyond your own personal travails, and we're coming to the end of the program, and your battle to overcome them, what's the lay of the land with regard to the political complexion of this country as the election draws near? I mean, the focus essentially on the two biggest political parties, the APC, the PDP, both of which you've been a member of. I mean, you're the current member of the APC. What's your assessment of how big a fight it will be between these two parties?
Well, the only party that has national character now is APC. This PDP does not possess that national outlook it used to have. I can tell you,
they would obviously dispute that.
I'm telling you, but I'm telling you this is the fact, and it is as real as anything. Now, APC is a national party. APC is the ruling party. APC has good programs. Yes, there's no doubt. The programs may not be the best now, the way people see them. Because when you are fighting corruption, when you are driving reforms, you must offend some people. Then the process or the dividends of those fights may not come out immediately. So some people may, one way or the other, not happy with the policies of APC because it is driving something that is different from what they are used to, which is making money is very quickly by a few people and then allowing the public interest to decay. Now that they came with something that is new to the people, of course, gestation period. I'm sure in the next couple of months, when the government will now go into this 5th, 6th year, the dividends of this fight against corruption, the dividends of this fight against these reforms will begin to appear. And then we will now be beating our chests, oh, had we known, we shouldn't have opposed this. But of course, the beneficiaries of the old order, of course, are resisting. It's like when an aircraft is trying to take off. You know, there will be low cloud, and they will glide it until the aircraft gets to a cruising level. And then you can now unfasten your seatbelt and cruise. That is where we are now.
Okay, Senator Hope Uzodinma, APC governorship candidate in Imo State. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Charles.
And you're watching Nigeria, the road to 2019. Plenty more still ahead, including we'll be joined in the studio in a hot second by two top-notch analysts as we look back at the week that was and look ahead to the week that will be as the 2019 general elections move ever closer. Stay with us.
We are the good
I don't catch you now.
But I'm singing the song. We are the united. We are the society. And if we come away, we put the past behind. Going back.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, we're going now.
Excellent.
Excellent. Foreign exchange.